Next up on WTV, yesterday's midterm election results, a special edition of Real Talk, and today's Sports Minute. WTV's Daily Update starts now. Good morning, Red Hawk Nation. Today is Wednesday, November 7th, and I'm Alyssa Murphy with today's Daily Update, brought to you by Wingspan TV. Here's WTV's Wade Glover with the results of the 2018 midterm elections.
Incumbent Republican Senator Ted Cruz defended his seat from a challenge against Democrat Beto O'Rourke, winning the election with 51% of the vote. In the local House district, Democrat Lori Birch and Republican Van Taylor battled for an open seat. Taylor took victory with 54% of the vote. For statewide races, Governor Greg Abbott handedly kept his seat in a race against former Dallas County Sheriff Lupe Valdez, clinching his win with 55% of the vote. Dan Patrick also retained his seat as Texas Lieutenant Governor, beating back Democratic challenger Mark Collier 51 to 47%. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton held on to his office with 51% after braving a stiff challenge from Democrat Justin Nelson. Angela Paxton made her political debut in her run for state senate, narrowly defeating Democratic opponent Mark Ferris, also with 51% of the vote. But elected offices were not the only decisions to be made on this year's ballot. The FRISCO SD TRE measure passed with 58% of the vote, and the FRISCO SD bond measure also passed with 61% of the vote. Reporting for Wingspan TV, I'm Wade Glover.
In this week's edition of Real Talk, WTV's Romy Williams hits the halls to ask students about the midterm election.
This is WTV's Romy Williams with this week's edition of Real Talk. Today we're going to hit the halls and find out how students feel about the election. How do you feel about the election?
I think it's pretty whack because, Cruz, he just doesn't have good ideals, you know? I didn't want him to win. I wanted Beto to win.
Honestly, I don't care about it. It's kind of a waste of time, especially all this debate over Beto and Ted Cruz.
It went how it went, so.
They know who won and stuff, and I don't really care because I'm not into politics that much, but I guess I'm okay with Tom Cruise winning.
To be honest, I really don't even care.
In another edition of Real Talk.
While most students on campus aren't eligible to vote quite yet, JWAC hosted a mock election to see who the campus would elect to Senate. WTV's Kia Dunlop has the story.
JWAC held mock auditions yesterday during all lunches for students to make their choice. With 4 voting booths and a ballot box, the club was able to provide a semi-realistic experience.
So this mock election is being hosted by the Junior World Affairs Council, and it's really important because we want to ensure that high school students who aren't 18, which is the majority of high school students at Liberty, still have the opportunity to make their voice heard and have the opportunity to exercise their civic duty. And so here we are in the cafeteria, and we have our booth set up. It's all confidential. It's mocking the exact setup of a typical election, and we're allowing students to make their voice heard because we think, especially as a student body and as a student organization, that student involvement in politics is critical for the success of the American political system. So we're really excited that everybody's coming out to participate today.
Reporting for Wingspan TV, I'm Kia Dunlop.
Moving away from election news, Texas has the second largest Hindu population in the United States, according to the Pew Research Center, and today is one of the biggest days on the Hindu calendar. WTV's Surya Ravichandran has the story.
Diwali, the Hindu festival of lights, is celebrated every autumn as one of the most popular festivals of Hinduism. The celebration symbolizes the victory of light over darkness, good over evil, and knowledge over ignorance. Hindu families across the world celebrate Diwali on this day, including students on campus.
So in the mornings, we usually do a puja, which is kind of like an offering to God and saying a couple prayers. And then later in the night, we have a couple of people over, kind of like a gathering. And then we just play with firecrackers because it's the Festival of Lights and stuff like that.
So we usually just have a celebration with the family, and then we have family friends over at our house, and we just have food and things like that.
For both Shivani and Manas, Diwali is more of an opportunity to meet family that they don't see often.
When I was little, we used to read the story of Diwali where a god, Rama, slayed a demon, Ravana, but now it's just basically a gathering where I can see all my family, have fun, eat good food, and celebrate the new fiscal year of India.
Just as I said before, it's a celebration and it's once a year, so it's kind of fun to see family that I haven't seen in a while.
Reporting for Wingspan TV, I'm Surya Ravichandran.
WTV Sports brings you the recap from last night's games.
In what was the most anticipated matchup of the season, the number 2 ranked Red Hawk volleyball team traveled to Berkner High School to square off against top-ranked Lovejoy in the third round of the playoffs. The Red Hawks started off slow, dropping the first set 25-14. The deficit, however, was soon answered as the team tied it up with a 25-23 second set win. The third set would prove similar to the first as the Leopards took it 25-15. In what would be the final set of the season, the Red Hawks battled to tie the match, but fell just short, dropping the last set 25-21. The loss brings the Red Hawks' district winning season to an end, as the team finished with a district record of 16-2 and received the title of area champions. For Wingspan TV, I'm Carter Brock.
If you are looking for more from Wingspan, you can follow us at Liberty Wingspan on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, or visit our award-winning website, libertywingspan.com. WTV's Wade Glover has today's announcements.
NHS has a meeting today during advisory in the auditorium. Students can nominate their peers or teachers to be righteous Red Hawks for exemplifying school values. Find a flyer in the hallway with the QR code to submit your nomination. You can drop off donations for Treats for Troops in the Rotunda this week. All donations will be sent to troops overseas. All boys interested in playing soccer who are not currently in soccer must see Coach Kaiser in room C112 before school or during advisory to try out.
That's it for today's Daily Update. This has been Alyssa Murphy for Wingspan TV.